Hi everyone, it's Richard Jones here from Fearless Speakers, and this is the first of a series of 5 videos in which I'm going to be showing you how you can develop your own signature talk, whether that be as a business owner or as an activist. So what we're going to be doing in this first video is I'm going to share what I mean by a signature talk, and I'll also show you in broad overview the methodology that I use with all of my clients to help them develop their own signature talks. And then over the series of the next 4 videos, we're going to go into that methodology in more detail. So let's kick off straight away then, and let's just make sure that we're all on the same page. And I'm going to describe what I mean by a signature talk. So for me, a signature talk has one key aim, and that is to help your audience understand you better. In other words, it helps them to find out who you are, what you do, and what you stand for. Now, generally speaking, your signature talk will have one key message which runs all the way through the talk, and we'll talk more about that in the next video. It's usually between 10 and 20 minutes long. That's kind of a typical length. And it could be the basis of something either longer or shorter. So typically your signature talk will be, as I say, 10 to 20 minutes. But for example, let's say you were asked by someone to talk for an hour. If you're going to be talking for that long, you probably want to start including some audience interaction, right? Perhaps some exercises, some discussion. So what you could do is build that into your signature talk and thereby create something that's perhaps, let's say, an hour long. Similarly, you might be at a networking event and be asked, could you give a 5-minute pitch? So what you could do is you could start with your signature talk and condense it down into the bare bones of something that you could deliver in 5 minutes. So the beauty of this is it's a great starting point, but it's also suitable for both multiple audiences and repurposing into different types of content. Probably one of the most well-known types of signature talks are TED Talks. If you think about some of the TED Talks that you're aware of, so for example, talks by Brené Brown, Simon Sinek, Brian Stevenson, just to name a few, they are really well known for giving those talks. What they set out in those talks is what they stand for. And those talks have all had millions of views online. So as you can see, TED and similar platforms are a great way for you to get exposure. One thing that a signature talk isn't is a sales pitch. It's very much more informational. It's about your audience getting to know you, getting to know your character, what you stand for, rather than you coming straight in with a sales message. Now, your signature talk could include a call to action, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a later video, but that really is the kind of the only sales-like element of the talk that could actually appear. So now we've established what a signature talk is, I'm just going to talk very briefly in overview about the methodology that I use to help my clients to develop their own signature talks. So this is a 12-step process. I like the fact that it's 12 steps because that means that the clock metaphor works really well. So just like a clock has 12 numbers, so the signature talk clock has 12 steps. And just like a clock, there are 4 quarters. So steps 1 to 3 are the first quarter or the first phase, and that's our brainstorming phase. Then we've got steps 4 to 6, which is the drafting phase, steps 7 to 9, the refining phase, and then finally steps 10 to 12, the performing phase. So that's the process in overview, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about each of those steps in the later videos. But for the time being, I thought it might be useful for you to take a look and a signature talk in action before you go any further. So what I would suggest you do is, before moving on to the next video, is have a go onto TED.com and search for Rita Pearson's talk. Now, Rita did an amazing TED talk called Every Kid Needs a Champion. So it's only 7.5 minutes long. So go away and have a look at that. That will give you a great idea of the sort of thing that we're talking about. And then come back to the next video where I'm going to be taking you through steps 1 to 3.